Today is Friday, November the 22nd, end of the week. We see a reversal of what happened yesterday, almost a mirror image of what happened yesterday, where the advancers this time led the decliners by almost 2 to 1. Volume was about the same as yesterday in the Dow, lower in the NASDAQ, lower in the S&P 500, but it is a Friday after all. So we had this drop occurring in early morning that led to a bottom right around lunchtime, and then the market just continued to drift slowly upwards. But it was really, wait till you see the charts. That's going to take the stock breadth indicator back up just a tiny amount, but nothing that shows a reversal, in my opinion, of this trend, because volume was on the light side. So now let's look at the charts. The S&P doesn't look very encouraging, frankly. We could extend this channel, and I bet you we're going to spend more time in this channel over the coming weeks. Apple, not an encouraging picture here either, not a picture of any devastation, but it's going to take some better news in the market, probably a China trade deal or a tariff deal from Trump to help Apple out here, but it's not benefiting from anything right now. The only thing we can say is that volume over the last 5 days has been low, except for one day right here on Wednesday, when there was a fairly high volume, higher than the 20-day moving average. Caterpillar, we're looking at the hourly chart here. The stock was only up 52 cents, but look where it stopped on the hourly chart. It stopped at the Woody's R1, which coincided exactly with the bottom of the reversed cloud. And the Chico span got stopped by the 8 EMAs. You had all these three things happening, and the stock market was paying attention. But volume was really, really low in Caterpillar. Let's look at weekly volume for Caterpillar now for a while. And we've got 3 running weeks where volume was below the 20-week moving average. We went up in this period of time right here. And then we had this big week with all this volume, and that gave us encouragement for the next 2 weeks. But now the China trade deal is on the back burner, so people are being more cautious. We came down and we touched the 8 EMA on a weekly EMA basis. That is a weekly 8 EMA, and you can see that we're just a little bit above the daily 8 EMA. Gold continues to drop with a strong dollar, and good thing we got out of KL because we dropped 2% here. We're on our way to testing the bottom of this cloud, but of course you know that not only is this technically dependent, but it's also of course strongly driven by the dollar, and the China trade deal postponing is making the dollar just a little bit stronger. AT&T continues that rebound, justification of having bought the stock last week with the 38 covered calls. WDC continues to rally upwards, so this is what we call now the beginning of a bit of a bear flag. And we can draw this kind of line and this kind of line, and let's see in the coming days if that plays out. But the 68.1% Fibonacci retreat is still something to pay attention to. Where was the Chico span? Nowhere in particular. Whirlpool, nice little recovery there, but look, stopped at the cloud. So what can we expect? We can expect a lot of resistance. We have the 8 EMA here, and we have this very, very thick cloud with a lot of resistance to work its way through. We also have the Chico span that is running into this 50 SMA. This is a trend line. 50 SMA and the 50 EMA. It's never got down to the 200s because the cloud gave it support right back here on November the 19th. Amazon, Nice recovery, $11, but let's look at its volume. Pretty anemic volume, so that doesn't tell us really anything about market sentiment for the stock because volume was just too low. So with the S&P just moving a bare 1/4 percentage point and volume being low, we really didn't learn anything today. So this, let's just look at Amazon weekly volume and then I'm finished. Pretty low. Last 4 weeks, really low volume, and look at where we are on the cloud. End of the week, we're using the cloud as support. Sorry, that was last week. This week we were not able to break through the cloud and we got rejected by the 8-week EMA. Have a good weekend, everybody. Maybe we'll learn more next week about the market, but this week was uneventful.